Hello. We're going to talk a little bit about the utilization of the AH or auction house, a little bit of cover a little bit of bag maintenance, and then your personal vault storage space. The gentleman right here, this NPC here with a little icon over his head, this is an auctioneer. They're located all over Middle Earth. The auctioneer gives you access to the AH auction hall. There are two types of auctions. There are general auctions that everyone who has the ability to use the auction hall can take part in. And then there are kinship-specific auctions, which only members of your kinship can take part in. In order to access the auction hall, you find one of the auctioneers. You give them a quick right click, and up comes the auction window. Now, if my windows don't look exactly like your windows, don't panic. I use different skins on all of my characters, so my screens will look different, but you still have all the same options. Here's your auction window. Starting from the upper left-hand corner, you have your Auctions tab, you have your Bids tab, and you have your Post tab. I'm going to come back over to the Auction tab. That's where I start. The auctions, what you do here is you look for items that you are interested in purchasing. You have several filters here that are available for you to use, where the cursor is flashing right here underneath the item name. If you happen to know a bit of the name of the item that you're looking for, you can type that in and run a search on it. If you're looking for something of a particular level range, you can use these filters here. Unrestricted, obviously that means there are no restrictions on the auction. There's no bids involved or anything of that nature. We'll cover that in a moment. Kinship only, if you place a check mark inside of that box, you are only going to be looking or have displayed to you items that are for auction to your kin only. You have sort fields here, and you have stat fields here. All of these filters are wonderful and help you to find items that you are looking for very, very quickly. If you're just kind of browsing the shop, you just want to see what's available to you, how this is going to work is, as you'll see that you have, going down the left-hand column here, you have a series of different categories: armor light, armor medium, armor heavy, so on and so forth. Notice the little plus to the far left of each of these categories. If you see a plus, that means that there's information inside of that particular category that you want to see. So you click on the plus, and now you'll notice that the information becomes available to you to see. If you were looking for a chest piece, you would click on chest. Of course, armor in the light armor category, you would click on chest, and then you would click the search button down below. And all our pieces that happen to fall under that category, which are our light armor and chest pieces that are available for sale on the AH, become available to you. They're displayed in a row type situation. Here is the actual icon for the item. You can place your mouse pointer on it and wait for your tooltip to show up, which tells you exactly what the item is and any stats associated with it. If you are unfamiliar, you see the two tooltip boxes. If you're unfamiliar with this, the tooltip to the left is the item that you're currently looking at or making reference to, and the tooltip to the right is the item that is actually slotted on your character, the item that you're currently using. This is a really neat feature, I think, because it allows you to just take at a bird's eye view which one is better, as opposed to having to open both windows separately. The name of the person putting it up for sale is underneath the icon name, or the icon picture. And it gives you a little information, stat category. This is a might piece. That's new information that they started adding. If there was a bid available on it or a bid currently in place, it would be listed here. Right now that's a 0, so there are no bids. Required level, this is good information here, level 24. If you're a level 85 or a level 65 or what have you, you don't want to waste your time looking for equipment or items that are not of your level. So they list it for you here, so you can, at a bird's eye view, look and see if you should even be interested in the first place. You have dollar figures here, current 10 silver, 62 copper. That is the minimum amount you're going to get away with paying for this particular item. Each item gets, when you put something up for a bid, an item up for auction, you start it off with a minimum price and then you place a maximum price, hopefully getting the maximum, but you can end up anywhere in between. So this price here, current price, is the minimum you're going to pay. The buyout price is the maximum you will pay to get this item right away. Not all items are available for immediate buyout. Some folks like to put them up for a bid type situation. A bid type situation is, as it sounds, they place the item up with no buyout figure, but people come up and they place blind bids on top of it, and in a couple of days, or depending on how long they have the auction going, the winner takes all. This 3-hour mark here is, that's how much longer this item has to be on the AH. If the item sells, that's wonderful. If the item does not sell, it will revert back to the individual who placed it on the AH in the first place. The bids tab that I'm going to now. If you have any current bids on items, they will be listed here. I have no current bids on any of the items, so there are no bids listed here. The posting tab. If you are coming here to do business and you want to sell an item, you will go to the posting tab. Looking down the left-hand column, you have the auction item box where you are going to click and drag the item that you have for sale. Here you have the duration of the auction. You can have it for 4 hours, you can have it for 8 hours, you can have it for 24 hours, you can have it up to 48 hours to sit up on the auction hall. If at the end of that time it does not sell, it will revert back to you via mail. The kinship tab here is, if you only want the item to be available to members of your kinship, you will place a check mark there. A lot of people like to do a lot of crafting and place the items up to help their kinship, and they're not going to ask for maximum value. They're going to give the members of the kinship a break. So they'll place this on a check mark, and they can still set the price as high as they want, but only members of the kinship will have the ability to buy that item. Down here at your initial price, this is your starting price that we were talking about. This is the minimum you will settle for. Again, this price here, the initial price, is the minimum you will settle for in the sale. The buyout price, notice how it says optional. If you want to allow people to have the ability to simply buy your product outright, you will set a price. If you do not want people to have an option to buy it out directly, you want to have a bidding situation to see how much money you can get for an item, you will leave this blank. You'll just leave them at zeros. So let's do this. Let's just say that I want to sell this Hope token here. Okay? I will click and drag that Hope token from my bag up into the auction item area. I will set the time length of my auction. If I place a check mark in kinship, only my kinship members will have the ability to buy that item. I want to leave it for everyone, so everybody in the game, everybody on this server has a chance to buy that item if they have the ability to purchase from the auction hall, and then I'll set my price, and then I'll click the post auction button, and I'm in business. I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to click and drag that out. And that's the auction hall. All right. Now, while I have these bags open, I'm going to cover a little bit about bag maintenance. You've probably already discovered that no matter how many bags you have, there is just never enough room for everything, so you never have enough bags. I My account, I should say, has a total of 6 bags. Not all accounts have that many bags. It all depends on the accounts that you have. That's going to designate how many bags you have. I've got all 6 going on here. You can access your bags by simply clicking the bag number down here on this rack. Bags can be clicked and dragged by placing your mouse pointer on the bag name tag and simply clicking and holding down your left mouse button and dragging the bags into a more pleasurable visual area. You can close bags and you can open bags simply by clicking on the associated number for the bags. Or what I like to do is if you want to open up all your bags at one time, you can press the I as in ice cream key. Once again, I as in ice cream. If you press the I as in ice cream key, you will get all of your bags up at one time. And vice versa, if you press it again, they will close all at one time. What I end up doing when I bring my tunes up is I will press I to bring up all of my bags, and then I'm going to close all of my bags except for bag 6, which in bag 6 I have right down here for easy clicking when I'm in combat, and it has all of my malady pots, my food, morale and power pots, scrolls and hope if I have them, and hope tokens. Basically anything that's going to help me in combat. I put that in my 6th bag and I leave that open. If you have a set of items in a bag and you want to split those items, let's take a look here, and we have an item. This is going to be some type of fortifying food here. It's Shire rations, and there are 11 of them. Let's just say I'm in a group and I want to help somebody out and slide them a couple of my rations. Well, I don't want to give them all 11. I just want to give them 2. That's called splitting the stack. How you split the stack is you rest your mouse pointer on the item in question, you press and hold your shift key, and then you press and hold your left mouse button and then drag the item to a blank bag space and release. And once you do that, the control box for splitting the stack comes up. You can move them all over, you can move half over, or you can move 1 over, or you can simply type in the number that you want, click OK, and now notice that it is no longer a stack of 11, but there's a stack of 9 and a stack of 2. Now I can simply pass that item over to the player in question. Or I could have broke them up and moved them up onto the AH. I could have done a number of things with them. I just did not want them all in one stack because I didn't want to sell all 9 or give all 9. The stack count, it varies depending on the item. Here are my malady pots. They seem to have a stack of 50. Other items have a lower stack rate. Some items will stack up to 100, some will stack up to 50, some will stack up to 10, some will stack up to 5, and some simply will not stack at all. So it really all depends upon the item that you're dealing with that's going to predicate what the stack count is going to be. The reverse is true if you notice that, oh wow, I need some bag space here and these 2 items are exactly the same. I don't need them in 2 stacks, I just want them in 1 stack. You can simply click and hold down your left mouse button, drag on top and release, and those items are added together. I'm going to do that again, only this time with my stack of 50 power pots. I'm going to split them in half. I'm going to place my mouse pointer on the icon. I'm going to click and hold down my shift key. I'm going to click and hold down my left mouse button, and I'm going to drag to a blank bag space and release. That brings up my stack break box here. I'm going to click on half. I'm going to click OK. And now notice that the items have been broken in half. And I'm going to put them back. Ta-da! All right, that's some basics of the utilization of the auction house and some basics in bag maintenance, as in breaking up your stacks. Another big portion of bag maintenance is keeping things inside of your personal vault to keep them out of your regular bag space. So we're going to take a little walk here. We're going to go over to our personal vault. Personal vaults are found all throughout Middle-earth as well. All right. Okie dokie. So this gentleman here with the icon over that looks like stacks of gold, this is your Vault Keeper. Again, Vault Keepers are found throughout Middle-earth. As with all NPCs, to access him, I'm going to place my mouse pointer on him and I'm going to right-click. That brings up your vault box here. You will see that you have your vault, shared storage, a wardrobe, and housing escrow. Depending on the type of account that you have with Turbine is going to predicate what you have available to you when you go to both the AH and when you go to the Vault Keepers. I have a lifetime membership with these good folks, so I've got pretty much everything I need. Obviously, if you click on Open Your Vault, up comes your vault box. This here represents the personal vault for this character. I have multiple characters, and this box here, this window here, is representative of what this individual has in their personal vault. The reason that you're using personal vaults is you want to get things out of your bags that you want to keep. You do not want to sell them. You do not want to trade them. You do not want to destroy them. You want to keep them for later use in the game or for some type of cosmetic reason. You want to wear it as a cosmetic. There are various reasons why you hang on to things. We're going to work with this box from top to bottom, from left to right. This area here indicates how many items you currently have in your vault and what the maximum number of items you can have in your vault. 33 represents that I have 33 items in my vault of a maximum 45 spaces available. And this little color bar will fill up. It gives you a really good glance at how much room you have in your vaults, because not only can your bags fill up, but your vaults fill up as well. And in case that happens, you have the Get More Space button, which you can click and trade some of your hard-earned Turbine points in for valuable vault space. This icon here of the clothes hanger, if you have the wardrobe room available to you, clicking on that will bring up your wardrobe. I've covered what the wardrobe does and how to work it in another video, and that is available on the website as well to take a look at. That's in Dyes and Cosmetics. This box here, or this icon here that represents an open box, if I click that, this is your shared storage. Shared storage was introduced to us because what was happening is that you would have multiple characters and you would have to switch off for characters. This character has this amount of ore or this type of ore. This character has that type of other crafting item that you would need, be it leather or some type of stone, and you would have to log on to these characters and then mail it out to them. Well, they came up with the shared storage, which is a great tool to have. If you do not have shared storage and you're into cosmetics and you're heavily into crafting, I strongly suggest that you expend the Turbine points necessary to get the shared storage, because what it does is it allows you to move items into the shared storage area and all of your characters have access to it. All they have to do is get to a Vault Keeper, click on the shared storage, and every one of my characters has access to all of these items. Well worth the points, if you ask me. All right. These windows can be clicked and dragged as all other windows. I'm going to close the shared storage, and we're going to move down. Here you have filters that you can utilize. If you have a very, very busy personal vault, you can use these filters to display items very, very quickly. Very handy. You can search for it by name, or you can show everything. Now, this particular character is one of my younger characters, so it doesn't have a very busy vault, but these options are available to me. You have a sort feature here. You can change your displays depending on how you like it. What I like about the personal vault and the shared storage vault is you have these tabs running down the right hand side, and what I do is I will use these tabs and rename these tabs and then put items of that nature in those tabs, and it's just another way to quickly get to what I want. Notice that this is called crafted. I named this crafted so I can put all my crafted items in there. This is clothing, barter, there's nothing in it, main, and all. See how they're broken up here? Here's main chest, here's clothing, here's crafted, and here's wood. Again, because this is not a very busy vault for this character, you look at it and you go, well, why do you need to keep things in order like that? Well, my other heavier characters, they've got crap everywhere. So any type of organization that I'm given, I'm going to utilize. You have a series of tabs down the side. Let's just go down to chest 5, which doesn't have a name. If I want to assign a name to chest 5, I select chest 5. I click the rename button. I type in something pertinent to what's going to go inside of there. I'm just going to call this test for the sake of this little video. I click submit. And now I have a chest called test. If I go up to all, everything's here. Main chest, clothing, crafted wood, and test. Just for kicks and giggles, I'm going to click and drag an item from my bag. Click and drag it into the test area. And you can see how that works. The utilization of your personal vault and shared storage helps to keep your bags clean. When you're out doing your thing and questing in Middle-earth, the most aggravating thing is having full bags, and your personal vault will help keep things under control. To move items from your personal vault to the bag, you simply left-click into an empty bag space. And to get items from your bag into your vault, it's vice versa. Left click and drop it on down. I'm going to drop this on the test. It's that easy. All right, I'm going to close this out. I'm going to open up all my bags. Now these bags are relatively empty as far as Middle-earth goes. You can easily click and drag items from one bag into another bag. All you need is an available space. I like to keep all my crafting items in one bag. I like to keep all of my legendary items or weapons in another bag. I like to keep all of my fighting equipment in one bag. And this helps keep things organized for me so I know where to find things very, very quickly. This item here that I'm resting my mouse pointer on, I just won. It's a relic removal scroll. Very, very handy. But I don't want it in my bag, and I want my other characters to have access to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Vault Keeper. I'm going to open up the Vault Keeper. I'm going to go to Shared Storage. Again, shared storage is where all of my tunes have access, and I'm going to add this to the group. So I'm going to place my mouse pointer on it. I'm going to click and drag and release. And look at that. Uh-oh. Let's try it again. Now watch the screen text come up. You do not have enough room to do that. Well, why don't I have enough room to do that? Well, let's look. At my capacity, I have 110 items in this bag, in my shared storage, of an available 110 items. So I am all the way full. So that means if I want to slide anything else inside of here, I need to clear out a space in my shared storage. But my question I'm asking myself is if it's a relic removal scroll, it should be able to stack. Well, right now, I'm going to place my mouse pointer on the two that are currently in my shared storage, and I'm going to wait for my tooltip to come up, and it says I have 2 relic removal scrolls. I don't see anything about level or anything of that nature. So why won't this stack? So I'm going to go back down to the one I have in my bag. And I don't see anything telling me except for bound to account. Now, bound to account means that all of my tunes should be able to use this. I cannot sell this to another individual or put it on the AH. It is for my account use only. So let's go back over to these relic removal scrolls. I'm going to rest my mouse pointer on them. Notice how these do not have the terminology or the explanation of bind to account. That means that these particular removal scrolls can be given away or sold on the AH. So that technically makes them 2 different types of items. One set can be sold or handed away, and the other is cannot. It's bound to account. And that's why that item will not stack. All right. Oops, I switched them around. I'm going to move this here. I'm going to take my stack of 2 and plop it there. So what I want to do is I want to look through here real quick and just see if there is anything that I can remove to make space for one item. The answer is probably going to be no, and it is. All right, so what I'm going to do, actually the scroll of delving, okay, anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave this here for now, and I'll figure it out later on. I will find rooms for it somewhere. So I'm going to close this out. I'm going to close my bags by pressing the letter I as in ice cream, and then I'm going to reopen bag 6. And that is my little video on how to use the AH, some basics in bag management and the Vault Keeper. I hope this has helped someone. If you have any questions, please ask any of your kinmates or find me online. Take care.